Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be a get ready with me and like a mini casual kind of review featuring the Morphe 35M palette. If you guys have been watching me, you know that I've had this palette for quite a bit and I actually did a first impressions on it like a month ago. And I know it's been a while, but I did want to really give this palette a full informative review, and I knew that I couldn't do that unless I actually went ahead and tried this palette out extensively, which is what I did, and I do have several final thoughts to share with you.
Flashback.
I just cleaned my room. I know. Anya, you're starting off this video with a boring phrase. People will probably click out of it. You probably will, but I just cleaned my room and I'm literally so proud of myself. I'm someone that hates having a messy room, that hates having messiness, but somehow I just am a messy person and I hate it. So the fact that I just deep cleaned my entire room makes me feel so happy inside. I feel so good about myself because let me tell you, no joke, my friend came in here the other day. I tried to stop him, I couldn't do it. He came up here and he just stood there and he's like, Anya, your room is Hurricane Katrina. I'm laughing about it because of how embarrassed I was. But yeah, my room was Hurricane Katrina. Now it's not. Now it's like managed, and now I have things in boxes and things to get rid of, things to throw away. Sayonara, junk, that sort of thing. And I'm so excited that my room actually looks like I am not crazy. I already put a little bit of eyeshadow base on, meaning I just put on foundation because I am cheap. I did not want to buy an eyeshadow base plus the ones I've tried out. I don't like too much. Let's just get into this get ready with me with this palette right here. Yes, I'm going to be using this Morphe 35M palette. I wanted to do a dedicated review on this palette, but then I realized that I did not necessarily want to sit down here for like 2 hours to swatch and show you guys each and every shade and talk about each and every shade, because you guys know that in my reviews I like to do that. So I'm just going to use this palette in this get ready with me today, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. So first of all, I want to use this stiff brush, this very dense packing brush, and I want to dip in to oh goodness, I'm kind of at a loss. I think I want to do like a purpley kind of look, so I want to get into this violet color. I kind of want to mix it with this lighter violet too. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see how it's hanging. Anyway, about this palette, I do want to say that this palette is kind of like the Colourpop Ooh La La palette that I actually did do a first impressions and a review on and all the shenanigans on. I actually was really in depth with that review and I gave you guys my thoughts, and I actually did feature that palette in a lot of tutorials and things like that. So you guys kind of already know my thoughts on that palette, but in that palette review, when I was talking about that palette, I did mention that that palette was best used with a stiff brush, and I'm going to pick up this color right here, like this reddy color, with a fluffier brush. But yeah, that palette was best used with a stiff brush, and that way you could get the color a lot more easily, and that's just how it was best used in my opinion. I feel like this palette is similar because I actually really do like the mattes. However, I feel like you're not going to get like the pigmentation and you're not going to get the color payoff that you would get from like say a Juvia's Place palette. I'm just trying to think of a brand that you guys probably have heard of or tried. That's what I want to compare it to. These are not Juvia's Place eyeshadows. These are far from it. These eyeshadows are going to require building up, and sometimes if you blend the shadows out, like I did here, they do require more layering. So like here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that purple color again. I think I want to dip into this color, just this one this time, and I'm going to pack it right on top, because I kind of did blend it away a little bit. So yeah, these colors, if you're not looking for something that requires layering, if you're not looking for something that, you know, requires work, you won't like this palette. And I just feel like the selling point for this palette for me, I'm just dipping into this shade, was the color story, and it still is. Whenever I'm thinking of doing a look that's like kind of this sort of like greenish, purplish, pinkish sort of mood, like kind of autumnal, but an updated version of autumnal, I think of this palette because the color story is so great. This is, like, for me, some of the best color story, like, ever, and I do like the mattes. I mean, I have managed to work with them quite well, and I do like how they blend because they blend pretty well. You know, you just have to keep layering them, which I'm not necessarily afraid to do, but yeah, like, I just want to let you guys know that that's just how this palette works. I mean, I like it, but I do say that, like, I don't necessarily find myself reaching for it because whenever I want to do my makeup quickly with no fuss, I reach for other palettes. So that's just my tea on this palette right here. You know, like, I can create like some nice looks with it, but it's not like the best of the best, you know? So if you're looking for the best of the best, I'd suggest looking elsewhere because you won't find it in this palette, unfortunately. That's just how it is. I mean, I do like want to reiterate that the color story, I'm very happy that Morphe actually decided to think about creating a good color story because they created this one, and I think that this color story is well thought out, and it's a color story I can actually get behind, you know, because it's interesting, it's new, it hasn't really been done before by a very visible brand. I just want to say, though, that, like, indie brands have been doing this sort of thing for a while now, but not a lot of mainstream brands. So, I mean, yeah, kudos to Morphe for actually, I don't know, not being the first, but actually bothering to do something new and different with their color story, you know? The quality is not amazing if you want your shadows to actually work for you, but you don't want to work for your shadows, then don't get this, you know? I mean, it's not a terrible palette. I still use it. I still like using it, but I wouldn't recommend this to everyone because it's not that kind of palette. The shimmers are the, like, only thing about this palette that I'm kind of like, because I don't know about you, but I kind of like a more opaque shimmer. And don't get me wrong, like, I can use a glitter glue with this and just be fine. But if you don't want to use a glitter glue and if you just want like a creamy, beautiful shimmer right off the bat, this is not going to cut it for you. That's just not going to happen. Also, this palette does perform better when you're using no powder to set your eyeshadow base. This performs better with a sticky base. I also wanted to mention that. And I also want to do like a little bit of a brow bone highlight using this highlight shade right here. This shade for brow bone highlight, really nice, by the way. I really found myself liking it a lot. I do feel like there's a little bit of difference in the shimmers in this palette, like in the shimmers and metallic colors, which actually, you'd be surprised, it's not necessarily uncommon for palettes to have different formulas when it comes to their shimmers. Because some of the palettes that I've tried, like I've done a lot of reviews on, you guys like know that I will go through each and every shade and I'll be like, okay, this shade performs like this, or this shade performs like that. Same finishes, but different performance. So yeah, I'm not surprised about that. I feel like the best part of this palette for me was the matte greens. Like the matte greens I absolutely loved, I do want to say, and this color right here. Those were really beautiful. I didn't really necessarily like these light greens because they weren't intense enough for me. You guys saw in my first impressions with this palette, I did comment on the fact that I did have to build them up. These like orangey colors, really nice. The purpley colors, I like this color and I like this color. I like the pinky colors a lot. The purpley colors, you know, you do have to work with. So, like as you saw when I was doing this, I did have to work with like layering and blending those purples because the purples do require layering. I think the pink shades, like the pinkish, reddish, orangish shades, those are really beautiful, and the green mattes I really do like as well. The shimmery colors, I find that these shimmery colors are a little bit finicky. They require a lot of packing on to really get that foiled look. And what else? I'm trying to think. This color I did like though, this beautiful metallic. I think I actually want to go into these like purpley shimmery colors because I kind of really want to create like a beautiful purpley shimmery look today. So what I want to do first though is I want to take like that stiff brush and I want to dip into this navy blue color. And this I'll be packing on my outer corner. So like see right there, like this color is very pigmented and high impact. And I do like working with it a lot. And I think I'm going to go in with like a small pencil brush and just blend out the edges of that just a little bit more. Because I do want there to be like a little bit of a line there. But I still don't want it to be like too harsh. I'm just creating like a V, like kind of like a U shape almost. And I think I'm going to flip this brush over and dip into this pink color right here. Maybe, actually no, I think I just want to dip into this pink color and I want to pack it right almost. So we have that darkness, kind of that moodiness. Now what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of glitter glue. I told you I like to use glitter glue with this palette. I think especially for the shimmers, I think that you have to either use a light base, which I actually have like a foundation which I use, which I don't think is light enough to really just make these colors pop enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a glitter glue and I'm going to put it on the center of my lid, and then I'm going to use my finger to pack the color on top. Now, a lot of people don't like using fingers, but for shimmers and actually for some matte formulas, I think that using fingers is a great option because it just cuts down like the application time, because I feel like it's faster and you're able to lay the color on more intensely. So I'm going to use my ring finger to really just work the product into the skin. Ooh, I think I want to go in with this like purpley color right here. I've put a little bit on my finger and I'm going to stamp it into the inner portion of my lid. And then I want to dip my fingers into this color right here, like this beautiful gray color. And I'm going to stamp this on the rest of my eyelid. I'm using my ring finger to blend those two colors together a bit more. Another thing that I want to mention about the glitter formulas in this palette, there are a few formulas in here that do have like these glittery flecks in it. Most notably for me, these two colors right here. This color is not necessarily my favorite. I don't really like the fact that it has glitter in it. I feel like it doesn't really show up, and the color itself does need layering, so I feel like that's kind of pointless. This color though I do like better. I just put it on my lids, like this was the color that I'm wearing right now. It doesn't really necessarily show that it's glittery on the eyes. It just looks like a subtle shimmer, which I'm okay with. If you have like this beautiful purple and like pink going on, I feel like it's a nice accent. And then some of these colors, like, and I think these two, I think this one, and I think these colors, they have like glittery flecks in them, but I feel like the shade itself is vibrant and sparkly enough to actually like use the glitter to support it, if that makes any sense, versus just randomly having glitter in it. I'm thinking I want to keep the focus for today's Get Ready With Me just on the eyes and maybe the lips, because you know we are working with this palette and I am giving you a lot of commentary on it. So I'm just going to do my foundation really quickly and then go back to eyes and then go back to face again. Now I'm going to go in with this red color right here. And I'm just going to clean this like pencil brush off on the back of my hand and just pick this shade up. And I'm going to stamp it into my lower lash line. These pinkier mats are actually quite beautiful, so I do love those. Then I'm going to go in with the same brush. I'm just going to dip into this navy color from earlier. And I'm going to stamp this on my outer lower lash line. I feel like that just really finishes this look because you have like this part right here which kind of looks a little bit incomplete, and then you have like this merging of top and bottom for this eye, which I really kind of like. And then for my inner corner, I want to grab this greenish goldish color right here and just apply it with my fingertips. That's just to give you like this sort of look at how this color performs as an inner corner highlight. As you can see, not necessarily beaming, and I did load up my finger quite a bit. But, you know, you can layer anything, and, you know, this layers quite well, but I just want to give you a look into how it appears on the skin. This is what the finished eyeshadow looks like. This is it right here. And I'm going to go quick with the rest of my face. I'm going to do a little bit of highlight. I'm going to actually, I think, do a little bit of bronzer as well. Guys, I can't help myself. I have to go in with something that is a little bit more bright, a little bit more beaming, because I was looking at this and it's like not bad, but like, I kind of want to add a little bit something special. So I'm going to go in with the Colourpop Supernova eyeshadow in the shade Over Again. I love this stuff. It's great. And I'm just going to apply this right to the center of my eyelid. And you guys can see that that reflect is killer. I'm just going to blend this out with my middle finger. Okay, just that made this entire thing so much better. I love this. This is beautiful. And this is also kind of sheer, so we have that duochrome effect created by having that background of purple and black, you know, under one shadow. So there is that little bit of duality in there too. Then for lips, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild lip liner in the shade Bear to Comment. And then for lips, I'm just going to be applying a gloss. I don't really feel like having like a traditional liquid lipstick on today whatsoever. So I'm going to be using this Fenty Beauty Glossbomb in the shade Diamond Milk. This is a very white gloss. It's sheer and it has no color, but it's such this beautiful effect on the lips that I absolutely love. Let's apply a little bit of mascara as well, shall we? Okay, so this is the look without lashes, and I'm actually waiting for my lashes to get tacky, and while that's going on, I do want to tell you guys my real I guess rundown of this palette right here. Would I get this palette 5 stars? No. Probably 3 stars, because I love the color story. I love the way certain colors work for me, but all in all, would I recommend this to my sister? No. My friends? No. I work with this because I got it, you know, and I like the color story a ton. So I don't necessarily want to say that I'm recommending it to you guys, like final thoughts, because it's not necessarily a palette that is 35 colors of amazing. I mean, if you have 35 colors, I guess it's fine if you have like 5 colors that are not ideal, but these are 35 colors, and a good half of this palette at least is not necessarily ideal, especially considering that we are now at the end of 2018 and there are ways to produce beautiful shadows, and beautiful shadows have been done, but not with this. I honestly feel so guilty sometimes when it comes to first impressions, and that's why I say in like every single first impressions that I've been doing, always do your research, always look at other people's reviews, always take first impressions with a grain of salt, because I did like a raving first impressions with this palette, I think, and my opinions have changed. And I think that even like people that claim that they can tell what an eyeshadow is and how a product performs after one try are kind of fooling you, because I tried this palette out and I really liked it at first, but as I got to know it more and more, there were discrepancies and there were like kinks in this palette that I did realize. So yes, that is my final thought on this palette right here. Will you be seeing it on my channel again? Definitely, because I do like some of these colors and they're very beautiful, and the color story itself is very unique to the point that I am willing to go the extra step to really use a glitter glue or use my fingers to really work the kinks out of these shadows, because I really do love the colors in this palette, but the formula itself is subpar. So anyway, moving on, let's go in with the lashes, shall we? By the way, these are the House of Lashes Iconics. So this is the finished look with lashes, bottom lash mascara, all the shenanigans. My hair is now down again. Still looks not the best, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this get ready with me. Thank you so much for watching. Those were like my sort of unorganized thoughts on the Morphe 35M. I know that it was a long time coming and I apologize for that, but I do like to really understand the product and really get a feel for it before doing any kind of last thoughts, any kind of review on anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.